Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so asleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoes, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas key. You with me, sheesh. Bonito, cheap, Keith.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Yeah, head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, man, we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yo, Vegas Call, you got me cracking up in the chat. That's like the Drake jokes, like the Drake memes. Like Frankie Candles the type of guy to take 18 people to an 18-plus movie. I don't even know what that means, but hey, I'll bring 18,000 of the CandleMafia members to a movie. Shout out to Vegas Call. But guys, what is going on? Bitcoin getting the pullback here. Now, if you guys did not see my quick market update that I dropped a little bit earlier today, oh man, we got a loss to the previous all-time high, guys. I want to talk about the key levels of support to the downside. Are we finally? As you guys know, this uptrend has been absolutely aggressive. We barely even get pullbacks within the ranges before just continuing up to higher highs. We just keep putting in higher lows. Are we finally about to put in a bigger correction on the higher time frames? I want to talk about the possibility of that happening. We do have some bearish signs popping up on market cipher B. Now, this does not make me call for a bear market or anything like that. I'm just playing this level to level, so I'm going to break down everything for you guys. And if you tuned in to the market update or the live stream yesterday, guys, we literally saw what we were looking for play out perfectly. And as you guys know from last night's live stream, I did short the top, but if you saw the market update earlier today, I moved my stop loss to break even a little bit too soon, and we'll talk about it, guys. We'll talk about it, but without further ado, guys, we're going to take a look at the chart. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for being here. Smash that like button, and quick announcement before we jump into the charts, guys. I actually have a flight to catch, so this is literally got to be a short stream. Otherwise, I'm not going to catch my flight. It's my nephew's birthday. I got to head out. Head out of town. But yeah, it is going to be a shorter stream. I have a timer set here, guys. I'm going to do a quick update on Bitcoin. We may not have time for the altcoins, but we will drop. We're going to try if we have time to do the giveaways tonight. But yeah, I'm like, I'm literally going from here, running into the car and running over to the airport. So it's going to be a quick one, but I'm going to drop the sauce for you guys real quick. Give you the key levels we're looking at, the bullish case, the bearish case, and then what I am expecting and kind of the way I'm playing price action personally. Let's see. Bada boom. Short stream, LFG. Shout out to Hamza. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to Mark Dutch, Melissa. Crypto ITO. Shout out to you, brother. Says dump to 100K. Maybe we'll talk about that. We got Steve in the chat. Seth Shepard. Shout out all the mods. Show them some love and smash that like button, guys, if you appreciate the free content we drop on this channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so here we are. Now, obviously, guys, if you tuned into yesterday's update, market update, or the live stream, you guys know we were looking, and I mean, even if you watched the live streams recently, you guys will know that we were coming up to a very, very, very key level of resistance. Let me go. I had to move around my charts here, guys, just because my where are we at? Let me go ahead and bada boom. Where are my upper targets here? Come on, baby. Don't do this to me. There we go. So, I'll just redo this real quick. As you guys know, we were coming up to some very key Fibonacci targets here as we were anticipating a potential push into new all-time highs. Approaching the $12,000 to $14,000. Just ignore these levels here. I would turn them off to make it cleaner, but I'm in a rush here. But as you guys know, we were looking for that continuation up to our key zone here between about $112,000 and $114,000. And on the market update, we were literally pushing into that level, looking at the possibility of potentially putting in a swing failure pattern, sweeping out this previous high that we made, and then looking for a potential drop to the downside, targeting either the all-time high. That was kind of our first key level that we would want to hold. And then once we drop below that all-time high, it does open up the door to come down to one of our bigger targets to the downside, which was sitting here at about $105,000 or $106,000. This is a zone, guys. And again, if you watch the market update, you'll be familiar with this level. This is literally just a value area high and a golden pocket. Let me pull this to the actual high here. Come on, give me that wick, baby. Give me that wick. There we go. It is sitting here between about 100 and I would call it about $106,000, just kind of round it up. And then we have the $104,122 786, right? And literally that's what we were looking for yesterday. We came up to that resistance level at about $112,000. Not only did we get the swing failure of the highs here, we also did get the bearish divergences on some key time frames, higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves. I'm just randomly here on the 15-minute, but you can see we did put in the lower highs with the higher highs. We also got this on the 1-hour time frame, the 30-minute, the 45-minute. We got this on a ton of different time frames, giving us a short entry that we were looking at in the premium Discord here, guys. We had that post. I talked about this in the market update. You know, we came up there, we got that perfect setup, and I did indeed short that. I did actually take a short from that level here just to kind of show it. You guys can't really see this, actually. Move that over, right? Entry here, I didn't get an entry at the tippy top at 111,470, and I moved my stop loss a little bit too prematurely, guys. I am not a perfect trader. This is why I like to share, even though this was technically a winning trade. You know, I like to share, like, you know, when I make decisions that maybe not have been the best decision or I make a mistake, I like to share it with you guys because trading is never just going to be a smooth journey where you're just nailing every single trade. You're never getting stopped out. And I just like to show the reality of things. I like to show the trades, but I like to show kind of the times that we make mistakes as well because you're never going to be a perfect trader. Literally nobody is, and there it is, right? Technically, I made 1.4%, but obviously I did want to hold that. I just moved my stop loss a little bit too early, but there you are. Did enter the short and then basically got stopped out almost exactly at my entry. So, you know, that is a little bit painful for me, but I was glad to get that set up in the premium Discord. We came up, we got the SFP with the bearish divergences, and you guys could see here we were literally looking for the bear divs on the 1 hour and down, and we literally got those exact confirmations. And here we are getting the drop to the downside, and our first major key level of support was obviously going to be the previous all-time high sitting at 109,880, because this is a level that if we were able to get some support here, that'd be a big level to flip to support before seeing new all-time highs. But we also knew, hey, if we get the drop down below the previous all-time high and we get stuck under this level, it would very likely open up the door to come down to our next big key level of support, sitting between the golden pocket, the value area high, and I do believe, yeah, we have a daily in this zone as well, sitting at about 104,694. And again, this entire zone is I would say 106,000, just to kind of round that up. But technically, 105,891 down to about 104,122. And actually, this is a little bit higher. I would say about 104,2. And this is kind of the big level, guys, because this is our macro value area high. And, you know, this is pretty much the level that we would prefer if we're going to continue an aggressive uptrend. We would really hope to bounce off this level, continue our higher lows, and then if we do get the bounce here and we get bullish confirmations, I will potentially be looking for new long positions. And at that point, guys, we may be able to see a bigger push up into new all-time highs. Now, there are some bearish signs on the chart here on the higher time frames for market cipher B. And I'm not going to lie, it could call for a bigger pullback here, guys. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever. And when you zoom out here just a little bit, obviously Bitcoin has been having a pretty good time, just absolutely crushing it to higher prices. And, you know, again, nothing goes up in a straight line forever. So we have to at least entertain the fact that we could see a bigger pullback. And I am a level-to-level trader. So for me personally, it's we come up to the key level of resistance. Sure, that was the all-time high. Everybody says you can't short at all-time highs. But obviously we did see that play out. But, you know, again, I wasn't looking at that as necessarily a giga short. I simply just look at the charts from a binary perspective. I see those short confirmations. I see the opportunity to take the move down to the all-time high and potentially, if I was still holding this, down to our final target. A little bit painful, but I'm not FOMOing in. I'm not just revenge trading. I will wait for another sound setup, and that is going to be our first big level of support. Now, on market cipher B, guys, you know, again, this would be the most ideal situation, in my opinion, if we come down there for a new long and get another push up. But if we are unable to hold these levels, we have one more key level that we've been looking at down here towards about, I would call it about 101 to 102K. I'm going to show you the exact levels that I'm looking at and why those are important levels. But before we do that, I do just want to cover the bearish signs that we do see on market cipher B. And just in the grand scheme here, within our larger volume profile, when we look at the volume profiles, guys, as you know, we deviate above the high. This is typically where you want to look for short positions to potentially get accepted back into your range, back to the POC, and eventually back to the low. Deviate the low, go back to the high, back to the low, deviate the low, back into the low, back to the POC, back to the high, etc. And you guys can see here, you know, obviously as we deviate above this profile, we do have to be aware of if we are going to get a significant correction here. I saw somebody looking at about 92K. There are key levels down below, and I'm just going to be looking at the macro volume profile. And when we look at this, guys, we are deviating above the all-time high, right? Or the value area high and the all-time high, at least at this moment up here. But what do we have here, right? We have higher highs on our price action with potential lower highs on our momentum waves here on Market Cypher B, giving us a potential bearish divergence here on the daily time frame. And this is technically a bearish confirmation above the value area high, which is where you look for shorts. And then if that does play out, you could potentially look for a continuation into your range if we get stuck under here. As we know, we do have one more level of key support that I'll be looking at. But, this is why I say I really want to bounce off that first zone, because I don't want to give price any time to get stuck inside this value area, because that does technically open the door to potentially see a bigger correction coming down to the POC and maybe even lower, guys. And I'm going to show you the key levels. But bearish divergence on the daily, that is a bearish puzzle piece for sure. And even with this VWAP rolling over, it does look like we might want to print that red dot soon. So you guys know when we get those red dots on the daily time frame, you guys know we're going to go down to the 90-minute time frame and look at the money flow. And guys, if that money flow is about to cross over into the red, that is a Market Cypher B 1/16th bearish setup when you get the red dot on the daily with that 90-minute money flow crossover into the red. Typically, the money flow crossover on the 90-minute is what indicates that the trend will continue down. So there's many reasons to be potentially expecting the push down to about the $105,000 to $106,000 zone. Number one, daily red dot, 90-minute money flow crossover, daily bearish divergence, and we also had lost the previous all-time high at $109,880, right? So, again, we lost that all-time high. You might be able to continue this move down to our next key levels. And with Market Cypher B looking like this, we could very easily get that push down to that level. And I want you guys to be aware of where that support is, so you're not panicking and you know where you should be looking for bounces. Now, if we do not get the confirmations, any kind of bounce off the first level that we just talked about, sitting right here, we are simply going to be looking at our key scalp zone, right? This is coming from a previous range volume profile on our way up, that last little area of consolidation. And we do have some liquidity sitting just below this range. And this is kind of the line in the sand for me personally. If we do wind up coming all the way down, I will be looking at this. If we can get accepted into this range, we can go to the POC and the value area low, potentially sweep out some of that liquidity down here and then look for another bounce. But at that point, as I mentioned in the market update, this is a little bit of a difficult situation, as if we do get a bounce there, you kind of have a lot of work to do to get back to the upside. But again, it's an if this then that statement. Hopefully we get the confirmations at the first level. If not, I'm going to be waiting to come down to this scalp range, right, where we do actually, let me pull up some of these levels. Where's our daily MPOCs? We do have a daily naked point of control sitting down here as well on that value area low. So if we do get the bigger drop down, be aware of this local scalp range, because, hey, if price reapproaches this level, right, we're probably going to come down and get sucked into this value area where we could potentially look for longs at the lows and then hopefully get the bigger move to the upside. But we're going to have to approach that situation as price action develops, if and when we get down there. But I just want you guys to have these levels on your chart. And again, we looked at the heat map. I don't have time to bring them up today, but we do have liquidity sitting down here as well. So you could come down there, sweep out the liquidity, and then potentially get a bounce. Now, it is really going to depend on what the higher time frames look like at that time, right? Like I said, it's level to level for me personally. And let me just pull up that larger profile. Obviously, guys, if we do come down here and get stuck under this value area high, even if we get the bounce here, it's not that you can't get a big move to the upside, but you do just have to be aware that you have a lot of work to do to get back out of here. You have this entire volume profile, which again, at that point, I would be using this as context for the local move. If I get those bullish confirmations down here, I'll be looking for a push into the POC, flip that POC, look to go to the high, and then at that point, I'm saying, hey, if we could break out of here, the biggest level to get above is that value area high of the range. But if we come all the way down here, it just makes it a bit of a more difficult long position because you have all this resistance above. Coming down to the value area high of the macro range, bouncing off the golden pocket 786, is just a cleaner look in my opinion, right? Even if we slip here a little bit to hit that 786, it just looks better, right? You just continue the higher lows. It just looks a little bit more bullish if we bounce off that first zone, in my own personal opinion. So that's how I'm handling things. We just have to be careful once we come in here. There is an opportunity to get stuck inside the range. And if we do that, right, and that daily bearish divergence is going to give us a much bigger correction to the downside, I'm going to talk about it, guys. I'm going to talk about a potential bigger correction, right? If we do wind up losing those lows, I will say, at that point, right, you have to think about what are you looking at this point? You're saying, well, hey, we deviated above the high. We had the daily bearish divergence up there. At that moment, what is your medium time frame money flow doing? What is your 4-hour money flow doing, right? What is your 8-hour money flow doing? Is it coming out? If it is, you could potentially anticipate a bigger continuation to the downside, targeting the POC of the macro range, sitting at $96,785. I would call it about $97K. Again, that is going to be a zone, but once we get down there, can we bounce there, on a higher time frame? I will say, guys, if we're going to go, I'm not necessarily, this is not my base case. I'm not calling for 97K. It's an if this, then that statement. Shout out to Mrs. Candles is laughing at me. She just comes into the studio and starts laughing. What are you laughing at, Mrs. Candles? You thought base case was funny? She's like, you said base case. All right. Well, anyway, that's not my base case. I'm not calling for it necessarily. But again, it's an if this, then that statement. We could easily bounce here. We could bounce here. If we don't, we start losing this. I will be expecting the POC. If that happens, guys, again, I'm not thinking the bull market's over. I'm not necessarily thinking we're going to zero because, again, if we pull up a higher time frame, ooh, Mrs. Candles behind the studio here messing around with wires. Mrs. Candles, don't kick out the power plug. What are you looking for? Oh, it might be in that bag. Shout out to Mrs. Candles is like stuffing suitcases right now. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. But anyway, can we get a hand in here, Mrs. Candles? We kind of need a Bitcoin pump. Let me see the hand. Oh, sure. Here you go. Oh, I got it. Let me see the hand. Give me the hand. Oh, guys, I got to get some extra sniffs in here. All right, let's continue on. Oh, don't grab my microphone like that. Good Lord. She just fondled my mic. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. But again, if we look at the higher time frames, guys, a bigger correction down could potentially. There's those Mrs. Candles hands in the chat. Let's go. Spam those Mrs. Candles hands. Let's see. If we close the weekly under the previous all-time high, will you see it as a big SFP to 75K? Shout out to 07 Skull. So I'm actually going to get into that in just a little bit as we're looking at these higher time frames. I'm actually glad that you said that. Yeah, shout out to Cheka. Mrs. Candle's low-key cocky today. Usually Mrs. Candle's a very shy, conservative person. She's low-key cocky today. She didn't want to give up the hand. She's playing hard to get. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. That's actually true. I was feeling that exact same thing. I'm like, yo, she's like strutting her stuff today. But anyway, if we look for the bigger cool-off here, guys, I'm just going to turn off this range. Just understand, if we do end up getting stuck back in that macro volume profile, it is kind of nice. Not that we're getting stuck underneath there, but if we do, we have this beautiful guide on what we could look for price, where we can look for price to go next, right? We've seen many a times where an asset will break out of a range, come back down, retest the POC, and then get a big move up. So again, even if, to be quite honest with you guys, even if we got a bigger correction down to the POC and the value area low, at that point, right, like we're pretty much, depending on what the weekly money flow looks like potentially, this could be, if we pull our macro golden pocket retracement from the high to the low, you can see we do have golden pocket confluence pretty close to that value area low. So if we did get our way all the way back down to that value area low, the golden pocket, this could be a big zone to bounce off of. And again, we're really far away from this. I'm not expecting this. I'm not calling for it. I just want you guys to be aware of the context because we don't know. If you're not going to hold the value area high, you would say, well, hey, I want to know about the local levels here. If we can't bounce off of those, we're going to be looking towards the POC. That's going to be that powerful magnetic level within the profile. It's going to suck price down. And then, even if you start pulling some of your local volume, local Fibonacci levels, right? You have a little bit of confluence here on the golden pocket POC. So we'll approach that level. And again, I don't expect this to happen tomorrow. So if we do see that more bearish case play out, just understand, like, we'll cover that live in real time, and I'll keep you guys updated. But I just want you to be aware of, like, the key levels down below. We have the volume profile. If you don't bounce off the high, right, you could potentially get stuck inside the range. But I want to be clear, you do have an opportunity to bounce off that local level that I just talked about earlier in the stream. Once you lose that, more likely, key level POC will gauge the reaction there, and then once you lose the POC, we can look down towards the value area low. But at the end of the day, on a higher time frame, guys, although, it is going to be a little bit scary to see that happen, we could easily see something like this happen where, it gets scary again, everybody thinking bear market again, and then you bounce off the golden pocket or the 786, and you start the bigger trend to the upside. But again, I don't want to cover every single scenario. I just want you guys to be aware of, like, the health of the market here. Nothing is going to go up in a straight line forever. At some point, we're going to need some kind of a pullback. And I know after all that excitement of, like, new all-time highs, that it gets pretty scary seeing another drop to the downside. It's like, oh, my God, was that the bear market? And in the premium Discord, I'm not going to lie, we did compare this to the 2021 all-time high, right? We took the bars patterns and we just kind of, like, grabbed this. And we just kind of compared the price action and the structure here to what we're seeing right now, which is, I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's going to play out like this. I don't use these to actually trade, but it is somewhat similar, right? Where you have the kind of a potential double top situation. But again, this could potentially end with even if we come back down to the value area low, it could end at a higher low. So I'm not necessarily expecting that to happen, but I'm just saying, if we look here at the higher time frames, taking a look at the weekly time frame, VWAP coming down on the weekly, and the high time frame red dots that we've been talking about forever here on Market Cypher B. Red dot incoming on the 4-day, 3-day red dot potentially incoming as well. We've talked about these for a very long time, potentially using those to anticipate the next time we're going to get some kind of a more significant pullback in the market before continuing back up. So, listen, we hit all-time highs, and worth pointing out, right? Worth pointing out. Not confirmed yet. It's not even printing yet, but I will just say, technical bearish divergences on the weekly here, which, again, is very similar to what we saw happen in 2021 with the higher highs on our price action, sweep of liquidity of the high. I don't know, like Bitcoin really just likes this kind of structure, right? You put in the bearish divergence, you sweep the highs, lower highs on your momentum waves. In this case, money flow was coming out. And, yeah, I just, keep it in mind. Bearish divergences, weekly VWAP coming down. But, again, as we push down, we can assess price action just like we do every time. If it looks super bearish, we can look for lower prices. If it looks good to bounce. And right now, there's really no reason to be super, super bearish, right? We're just getting a little bit of a pullback. But I just want you guys to be prepared. Watch those 3- and 4-day red dots to potentially indicate the bigger correction. And now you guys have all the key levels. You got the local value area high at 105 to 106K. Under that, you have the local scalp range value area low. Just to give you guys those exact levels one more time. Value area low sitting closer to about 102,500. If we don't bounce there, we can look down towards the macro range POC. And again, we will talk a million times probably before we ever get back down here. So I don't want to cover too much today. I just want to kind of show you guys those local levels I'm watching for potential bounces. Still overall bullish here for a potential continuation of the bull market. But, when you see these bearish signs, you have to anticipate some kind of a correction. And if it becomes bigger, even down to the POC, it doesn't necessarily mean bear market. So just be ready for that. If people are starting to call for the bear market, it's not necessarily a reason to be calling for that, right? So, again, I'll keep you guys updated as price action develops. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Zakir, said low into the 90s. I wouldn't say that's impossible. Not necessarily my base case, obviously. Again, as a trader, I trade level to level, right? If I see a bullish confirmation down here and I take a long, right, at that point, if we hold this value area high, I am probably anticipating new all-time highs, right? Where would I be looking for that all-time high? Well, I would probably be looking at the $114,000 level. Fibonacci extension. We just front ran the 112K level. So if we do get the bullish reaction here with the confirmations, right, and we get the pushback out of the value area high, I'd probably be anticipating new all-time highs towards about $114,000, right? That's the next key target to the upside. And again, technically, we got the bearish confirmations up here for the short. However, technically, we kind of front-ran that Fibonacci level, right? So, again, push down there, we can look to come back up into this zone. But if we don't get the confirmation there and we get stuck under the value area high, obviously, we're going to have our sights set lower for the next opportunity. And I wish... This is typically one of those times where I sit here and I say, and if that happens, that's great. The short will play out. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I got stopped out for like 1.5% in profit. Fortunately, in profit, but still, oh man, that stings, guys. That stings. But anyway, that's pretty much what we're looking at. We're pretty much just seeing exactly what we looked for yesterday play out. And, yeah, other than that, guys, those are the key levels that I'm looking at. I do want to come into watch that daily bearish divergence on the daily. I'm going to check in with the chat here really quickly. Let's see. Pump it. Shout out to KK. Hey, I hope so. Give me that 105. I'd like that 105. By the way, guys, we are bouncing off an MPOC here, by the way. So at the end of the day, actually, hang on one second. No, this is a tapped daily MPOC, but I think there is actually a... Zoom in here real quick. Yeah. I had to update my chart. Something weird happened with TradingView, guys. All my levels moved around. My folders moved around. I don't know what the heck happened here. But we did come down here to a naked daily point of control. And that is what we're bouncing off of, right? We came down to the MPOC. We got the little bounce. But again, we are still stuck below that previous all-time high. So again, I would say, honestly, if you can't get back above that all-time high and flip that to support, I would definitely be anticipating to come back down here. I mean, this is tap now. I would definitely be anticipating to potentially come down here, especially with the daily red dot, 90-minute money flow crossover, etc. Everything that we just looked at. I don't want to beat the dead horse. I got to be quick here today. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Let me check it on chat real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Gen Z, said SFP is my bullet. Sniper is my weapon. Shout out to Gen Z. Did you catch the SFP from the premium? Let me know. Yes, there you go. Shout out to the Terrible Trader. Beautifully explained. I am shorter-term bearish, longer-term bullish at this point, right? So, yeah, let's go. Let's see. Shout out to Dave Digital, said, also packing my suitcase. Vegas, baby. Shout out to Dave Digital. I'm actually not going to Vegas right. I'm flying out tonight to go to my family for my nephew's birthday. But I do think, guys, I think we are able. It's going to be like such a chaotic thing. I think we're going to be able to make it to Vegas, but I'm going to have to like fly out, and then I'm going to have to like rush onto another plane. I think we're going to get there. We're going to be like breathing heavy, like, oh, God, we finally made it when we get there, but I think we're going to make it, bro. I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting you, bro. So shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go, baby. Let's see. Shout out to Meantriness. I don't know how to say that. Said, are we going down for sure? I don't know. It's always a probability. I wish I just knew. If I knew for sure, if I knew 100% positive that we were going down, I mean, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I would say the higher probability at this point, especially if you get that 90-minute money flow crossover, the higher probability is to come down. But obviously, nothing's going to be a sure shot in trading. So yeah, it's impossible to say that. Let's see. Profit is profit. Shout out to Savage. Yeah, even 1.5% is technically still profit. Have a safe flight. Shout out to Critical. I appreciate you so much. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Greg. Said, Frankie, how would you enter a short on the 1/16th or 90-minute market cipher B strategy? At times, the price goes up a bit. Where would your stop loss be? Explain how you used to do it back in the day trading market cipher B 1/16th. Yeah, so I don't trade it like this anymore, really. Maybe in like a desperate attempt, I would maybe do it. I don't want to say never, but back in the day, I used to just trade that strategy. Very simply, what I would try to do here is, and I think CryptoFeast even explains it like this, I believe. Really, what you want to do, or what I used to do, was you get the daily red dot, which is not printing yet, right? You want that daily red dot ideally to be printing, and then the 90-minute money flow crosses over while that red dot's printing. But what I used to do was I used to either try to front run it, which was a little bit more risky, but I would get a little bit of a better entry. I would see the VWAP coming down, or maybe the red dot's already printing. Once I see that red dot printing on the daily, I would come on down to the 90-minute, and then I would either try to, if I see that money flow trending to the downside very clearly, right? Even if we were like right here, I'd say, well, hey, if that daily red dot prints and this money flow continues out, maybe I can get a good entry. For when that eventually crosses into the red, I can enjoy that continuation to the downside. So I would either try to front run like that last little bit of the money flow about to cross over into the red, or you could even potentially, because if you back test it, right, you could potentially just, I would either do that, or I would wait for the actual 90-minute money flow to cross over into the red, and then I would just take the position. And for me personally, I mean, back then, I would probably, again, I don't really trade like that anymore. I obviously use this for my biases. That's how usually we're so accurate with whether we're going to continue up or down, is because we're using that money flow analysis. But, again, it's like the reason I don't really do it anymore is because like there's not a lot of times that I'm just looking to short after the move down. Like I said, my original entry was literally here at the top at about 111,450. Right? So like I like to short as price is coming up. That's why I don't really do this. And, right now, the next key level of support is sitting here at the value area high. So, this is almost a 50-50 shot. This risk to reward is not that great, right? If you put your stop loss above the previous high, it's not that great of a risk to reward, right? So that's kind of why I don't do it anymore. But if the idea is if that money flow crosses into the red and you continue that trend to the downside, there is a shot that it could play out. But again, it's just not my ideal way of trading. At this point, I just like to use that as an extra confirmation and then catch those entries, right? Because now, looking back as a more experienced trader, I look back and I say, well, hey, I would look back and be like, well, man, I wish I was short from the top. And now the strategies that we use allow us to get in at the higher prices and then use the money flow crossovers and the market cipher B116 strategies to let us know, hey, we're already in the profit, and if that money flow crosses into the red, we may have caught a bigger move. So that's kind of how I use it. I can't be a I can't. That's how I used to do it. I can't say I do it like that anymore. Maybe I should take a shot, right? Maybe I should do it right here and see if it plays out, right? And we'll see. I'll come report back to you guys, be like, and this is why I don't do this anymore, guys. But I'll be honest, I've caught some very, very good trades. It's one of the best simple strategies that you can use. Mrs. Candles just shushed me. Hey, Mrs. Candles, come here. Oh, she's coming back. The mafia said that they were like, dang, Mrs. Candles is cocky nowadays. Are you getting a big head? Are you? Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Guys, I might be like, this might be turning into an abusive relationship. She just yelled at me. Mrs. Kent, don't make me take the air out of you again. I'll deflate you. I'll take that patch I put on you the other day and take it right off. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Yo, shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Friendly reminder, we're ready for baby candles. Shout out to Dave Digital. What do you think, Mrs. Candles? Okay, she's running away. She just ran away. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go. And thank you for that, bro, because we got her out of here. I'm hanging out with my friends, Mrs. Candles. Get out of here. Shout out to Dave Digital. Little Bambino candles. Hashtag baby candles. Should we start a baby candles emoji? Let's go. Shout out to Dave, bro. You cracked me up, man. Tell her it's time for a freak off. Rip the Band-Aid off, Frankie. Shout out to Darren Dustin. Dude, I'm literally going to have my kid on the chart, like, standing here on the table. Like, what is this? Candle. What is this? Divergence. It's going to be great, guys. It's going to be great. That's an SFP for baby candles. Yo, you guys are crazy. But yeah, that's shout out to Greg. Hopefully that helps you out, bro. That is pretty much how I would handle that. And again, it's one of the most simple and, like, easiest strategies that you can use. And again, I feel a responsibility to kind of say I use more confirmation at this point, but I'm not going to lie, guys. I caught some really nice trades like that. And again, if you just kind of back test this, right, like you get a daily red dot. Like even here, this was one of the big things that we were looking at. I believe it was right before this breakdown, right? We had the daily red dot, I believe. If I remember this, guys, I'm not necessarily even really proud of that. But let's see. I think, yeah, it is. Oh, man. But, yeah, you had that daily red dot marked by this red line. And then look at your 90-minute money flow looking to cross over into the red. And then look where that money flow crosses into the red. And then that's the start of the bigger drop down. And it's not 100% hit rate. Sometimes you'll fake out on money flow. It'll stop you out. Obviously, this is trading. There's only a probability, no guarantees. But you can see here, if you actually enter on the last, as money flow is coming out, you could try to front run the idea, and you'll get a little bit of a better entry rather than entering on the actual crossover. In this case, it was just about 2% more. But yeah, that's kind of the difference, right? You can enter in early, try to front run a better entry, or you can wait for the better confirmation, which would be the crossover. And then, you get a little lower entry, but again, it's a little bit, safer if, because you're waiting for the actual confirmation to happen instead of front running it, if that makes sense. So yeah, shout out to Greg. Hopefully that helps you out, brother. Now I'm just more inclined to wait for retracements, into golden pockets, etc. But yeah, there's my 2 cents on the Market Cipher B116 strategy. One of the easiest and best strategies you can use if you're new to trading and you don't know a ton of more advanced strategies. Let's see. Yo, you guys, Mafia's going nuts right now. This is crazy. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Tales of Mystery said, but Frankie, is it the dot that has to come first or the money flow, or do they have to occur at the same time? I mean, listen, nothing's ever going to give you that exact signal. Sometimes, again, nothing in trading is ever going to be binary like that, in my opinion. But no, listen, sometimes you can get a daily, you can get the money flow crossover now. And then as the 90-minute money flow, you're really just looking for the confluence. You're looking for the things to go in the same direction, literally confluence. You're looking for the VWAP coming down on the daily, right? You're just looking for that daily VWAP rolling over, saying to yourself, like, what are you thinking? You're thinking, hey, if this crosses over the zero line, which is very close to doing, it's probably going to print a red dot. Then you say, what is the 90-minute money flow doing? It's coming out, right? So, I would say this is definitely setting up. I wouldn't really be splitting hairs that tightly, whether the crossover happens first or the red dot happens first. Sometimes the red dot will print and then it will go away. So it's not really like an exact thing like that, right? It would kind of be impossible to see them happen at the exact same time. But, ideally you just want to see, if that red dot prints, I would guess, right, very high probability that money flow is going into the red, or if it's not already. So you just want them to happen at the same time. If I could just kind of, show you how that works, right? What that example that I just showed you back up here, right? Daily red dot happened. Well, actually, I'll mark out the 90-minute money flow crossover because that's the more accurate thing, or the more tactical thing, right? So there's your money flow crossover on the, it's going to be hard to see because it's just the daily time frame. But yeah, you have the daily red dot prints right here. And then that 90-minute money flow, it's kind of hard to do in hindsight just because it's not live price action. But you can see that daily money flow printing. And that money flow, it is going to be, it's never going to, I mean, sometimes it'll happen at the same time, but it's really, you're just looking for both things to happen together, confluently, if that makes sense. So yeah, I wouldn't split hairs there. Let's see. I don't need babies, but I love Huggies. Hey, shout out to Mark Dutch. Let's go. All right, let's continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. How we doing on time? Oh, good Lord, we're running out of time here. All right, at Tony D. Show yourself. At Tony D, please show yourself. Let's see. Jesse is scary when he's mad. Hey, by the way, guys, don't forget to smash that like button if you like even the free short streams. Smash that like button. I don't know how many likes we have right now. We're doing it short, so we're probably not going to hit 1,000. But smash up the like button if you have not already. Shout out to Haiti Dad. What is going on, bro? Hope you're doing well. He says, so it's going to 0. No. I wouldn't say it's going to 0. I would just say that 90-minute money flow crawl. There he is. Let's go. Shout out to Tony D. Tyler Durden said Tony who. Shout out to Tony D. Do you want to just, like, drop the giveaways that we're doing today? Because we got to get them done pretty soon because I got to run out of here pretty fast. Tony D is not here. Shout out to Jesse. Let's go. Already smashed. Shout out to Oculus for smashing that like button. Tails of Mystery. Thank you, sir. No problemo, Tails. And again, what I would tell you to do, Tails, to kind of test that, right? The best way to identify how this stuff actually plays out is to simply put the hours in on the chart, which I know you do. Come on into bar replay mode. And actually, that's what I'll do, right? Let me go into bar replay mode. I will come back to that last money flow crossover on the 90-minute right here, right? So you're looking at that. You're losing the POC. Obviously, context is going to be king too, right? You're like already losing the POC of the range. You know, context is always going to be important, but just to look at this, right? Let's just say, hey, money flow is coming out on the 90-minute. Let's check the daily. That daily red dot is printing. So at that point, you have the daily red dot printing, and then that 90-minute money flow is coming down, and this was happening at 10 a.m., right? So you have plenty of time for that money flow to cross over into the red while that red dot is printing on the daily, right? Because that red dot, in order to confirm, has to close, right? So at 10 a.m., you have all the way until the end of the day for that candle to close. So that red dot, if it's going to stay there, is going to stay there all day. So you have all day to see if that money flow crossover into the red is going to happen. And again, at this point, you could say to yourself, let me take an entry here. You know, again, not something I would do nowadays, just entering after a dump like this. But sometimes you don't have time for a retracement, and it just goes, right? So you could say to yourself, hey, I'm going to front run this money flow crossover. It looks like it's going to cross over. Let me enter here. Nowadays, I'd be like, this VWAP's coming up. That could probably push you up a little bit. I'd rather get a better entry. But at the end of the day, let's go ahead and move price forward here. You get the green dot. You push up just a little bit. But at the end of the day, yeah, see, like that's really what I would look for. Nowadays, I would rather wait for a golden pocket 786 retracement and then catch the short from the high. It just gets you a little bit of a better entry. But at the end of the day, even if you entered here, stop loss above the high, money flow continues out. Then that red dot looks to print on the 90-minute, and let's see what happens. Right on that money flow crossover, you get the dump to the downside. And then you come to the daily, and, well, this is now a couple days later. It had been confirmed, and that 90-minute money flow was indeed the thing that started the move to the downside. So I would go into bar replay mode, go on the dailies, go to a random point on the chart. If you go into bar replay mode, you can actually click this down arrow. Oh, you guys can't see that. Hang on, let me hide myself real quick. Okay, you can see here, if you click on bar replay mode, you click this little down arrow, and you can click random bar, and it will bring you to a random point on the chart. Go to the daily, go to a random point on the chart, and see, just play through it, right? Okay, I have a daily green dot, right? Then you could go down to the 90-minute and see if you have your money flow crossing into the green, and then, you know, just go back test this stuff to see how it kind of plays out, right? That's going to be the best way for you to get your thumb on the pulse of how this stuff plays out and confirms. All right, so there we go. Now we're back. Let's see here. Yo, Darren, that's crazy, bro. All right, let's see. I can't believe you said that. Let's see here. So, yeah, I think 10 winners. Dave Digital said 111 winners. Let's see. Bada boom. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. So, yeah, giveaway winners are probably being picked. Tony will super chat them, or not super chat them, but he'll pin them to the top of the chat to let you guys know who the winner is. And while he's doing that, guys, I'm going to wrap up here taking a look at we'll take a look at Ethereum. And I don't want to promise any other altcoins because I really don't have a lot of time today because I got to catch that flight. But we'll check out Ethereum right now. Jump on over to the alt chart. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, we're not going to talk about dominance. We actually talked about dominance the other day, so it's not a big deal. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. So on Ethereum here, as you guys know, as we were looking at yesterday, let me come on over to the 4-hour, just still kind of bing-bonging around here, above the anchored VWAP, above the point of control. At this point, we're still inside our range. I'm actually going to talk about a potentially bigger retracement that we could see here for Ethereum. And we actually did talk about these levels down here, deeper retracements that we could look at. We have the golden pocket sitting here at about $1,900. Overall, right, in the most bullish case, you would hope that you could hold above the POC, potentially. If we can do that, we could potentially get sucked up towards the golden pocket retracement, sitting towards $3,000 to $3,100. We also have the honorable mention of the daily here that we've been talking about at 28.19. So I would say if we hold above here and we get the move up first, which I'll be honest, on that daily green dot that we printed and confirmed, I was thinking that's probably the best bet, if any, to get that move to the upside, because we had the opportunity to put in a daily bearish divergence potentially into some of these levels. We got that daily green dot, didn't do much, right? So, again, if we do wind up pushing up over the weekend, daily at 28.19 is going to be your next key level. Once you get above that, I would expect a continuation into that golden pocket between $3,000 and $3,100, $3,156 to be exact. Now, if we take a look at some of the higher time frames, 3-day red dot printing, 3-day red dot looking to print, 4-day red dot looking to print, 5-day red dot looking to print. Some of these higher, same thing on Bitcoin, right? These higher daily red dots could be the thing to start the bigger retracement. And I just want you guys to get ready here. I'll talk about those are the key levels of resistance, 28.19. And then you have the, again, daily naked point of control. I know this is not repetitive for everybody, but I always think, I'm like, I just talked about this, but I know there's a lot of new people in the stream. Between, I would say, $29.80 and $3,100, right? So, that's going to be a big, actually, I think I already have the box there. Yeah, this is the next big target to the upside, with the exception of the local daily sitting here at 28.19. Stay above the POC, anchored VWAP. Next, if we get the next move up, that's where I'd be expecting to go. Again, in the overall context of potentially filling the overall range. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And if we do get a bigger correction first, obviously the POC is key support. Lose the POC, value area low is key support. I would prefer, personally, to hold the value area low golden pocket zone sitting right here. If not, we could potentially come down to the 786, which is sitting at about $1,800, right? So if we do lose the POC, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to zero. We could still hold the value area low before continuing up. If we get a bigger retracement, those are the levels I'm going to be looking at. I would really prefer to hold that value area low golden pocket. Lose that, come up to the POC, and likely we'll have plenty of check-ins before this if anything changes. But right now, anchored VWAP, which sits currently at about 24.29. If we lose that, the POC sits at about 23.20. Lose the POC, we're going to look down towards the value area low golden pocket, because again, remember, if we're going to continue the uptrend, you could expect cool-offs here, right? But you're just looking for higher lows and higher highs, assuming that the bullish trend will continue. Take a look at the 2-day. Money flow still barely attempting to come to the upside. So, we'll see if we get that 2-day green dot. That's the if this, then that for me. If I were looking for a long on Ethereum personally, I would want to see a bigger pullback. And those are the key levels I would watch. If we come up first, I'm happy to see that go up into those next targets that I just covered. All right, let's see. There we go. Shout out to Tony D for dropping those winners. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Jay Violet getting that free giveaway. Let's get it. We're sending you a bag of Ada, I believe. That's what it is. Shout out to Laviu. Shout out to you, man. Congratulations on your giveaway. We got Pawn Chain, MK Crypto, Smoking Wrench, Jedi Skirk. Let's go. AAKG. I don't know how to say that. Dylan, Mass, and Link Marine. Let's go. Shout out to you guys. Congratulations on your free giveaway. Shout out to Dave says, and to the losers, don't suck so bad next time. Shout out to Dave. It's like there's no input whatsoever from them. But yeah, let's see. Dawn said, Jay Violet knows how to push those buttons just right. I guess so. Love it. Shout out to Nirvana. I want some Ada. Let's go. Shout out to Mandito. Shout out to you, brother. But guys, it is, I think we probably got like 10 or 15 minutes because I'm going to have to start sprinting around real quick. But yeah, that is Ethereum. I am going to just cover really quickly. Yeah, Solana just still in this same kind of predicament we've been looking at, right? Just between these two volume profiles. And I'd argue that obviously we came down, bounced off that golden pocket that we looked at on the live stream. We were able to get back above that value area high, opening the door into our next key level at the value area low of our previous range, which is our doorway to higher prices, which is anticipated to be resistance until proven otherwise, which it has been once and now twice. But you're now starting a new area of balance, right? Now this is like some kind of a new volume profile. So you could kind of look at this locally, local value area low, and let me just hide these macro ranges to make it a little bit cleaner. Value area low sitting at about 165.76, POC sitting at 172.01, and then the value area high, which you are losing currently, sitting at 177.46. That's the local levels, right? But just in general, the doorway to lower prices is always going to be the value area high, the macro range, and the doorway to higher prices is going to be the value area low of the upper range, 183.91. Flip that. Next target is going to be the POC sitting at 216.98. If we get accepted back into this upper profile, we've already tapped into this golden pocket, but we front ran the bottom of it. So honestly, if we wanted to be like super technical, we could still watch the bottom of that golden pocket, right? I'm just going to keep the whole thing there, but if we do come back down, again, your key level that you would want to hold, which would be confluent with that local range, right? Value area low, value area high confluence, right? You would want to hold on top of this to keep the doorway open back to that value area high, and that's the level, obviously, you want to get above. But if you lose this macro value area high, very similar to Bitcoin, this could send you back down to that golden pocket, and because this is already tested, I would not put as much weight on the golden pocket, which means if you can't get back out of that value area high, you could be on your way down to that second zone that we've been keeping an eye on forever, between 153.44 and 150.92. Lose that, I'm looking to come down to the POC range between $145.97 and $143, $142.92. Will that make me super bearish? Well, let's answer the question together. I would hope, right, with the aggressive higher lows and higher highs, you would hope that you come up, flip that value area high to support. That is technically bullish, right? But you're just slamming into resistance. You got to reclaim there for the bigger move up. But if we come back down to the 786, would I be bearish? Not necessarily, right? It would be nicer. You know, you're still kind of keeping your bullish market structure, but I would really, like in the more bullish scenario, I'd much rather hold that level. But if we lose that 786 POC, there is confluence down here. Do we have any, no NPOCs? Yeah, you have no daily levels down there. You have that one's tapped. Yeah, I mean, that would be the level. Lose that, look down to the POC. And again, we've seen many a times, guys, where you come down, get accepted into the range, test the POC before the bigger move up. Right? Because you look at this from a higher time frame perspective. Let me actually hide the TA here real quick. Hide the volume profiles. Bada boom. Bada bing. Yeah, I mean, the next, technically could come down for a much deeper retracement there. But again, then you have your macro volume profile that you can look at. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for the most part, everything else remains the same on Solana. We're just seeing ourselves bing-bong around those two volume profiles. Doorway to higher prices, doorway to lower prices. Not bear market, right? I gotta be very, 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 very careful about that. Let's see, 3-day weekend, sold Thursday, rebuy Monday, and up we go again on Tuesday. Shout out to S-Mac. Yeah, it is a holiday weekend, guys, so keep that in mind as well. It might be a little bit of wonky price action, so definitely be careful about that. And I will say, when we just checking back on Bitcoin one more time, I will say this. Technically, it's I almost said February. It is May 23rd. Technically, although we did do the Tony D did the math, and turns out that like sell in May, walk away is not as legit or accurate as we would have thought. But technically we're still in May, right? We do get the bigger correction. Again, I wouldn't say bear market, but it would be if we get that bigger correction, it would kind of make sense. And again, just looking at the volume profiles here, guys, we have the volume profile here. Go back down to the low. If you lose the low, where are you looking to get price attracted to? Your previous range, right? So if we cool off, get stuck back in, you could kind of come back, and if you don't bounce off the value area low, if we break below that value area low, you might just be coming to retest that structure here. Could be something to look at, right? Because, again, those volume profiles, like, When we bing bong around here, we know if we deviate outside or impulse outside of this range, what is price very likely to do? This is how we are so accurate on this channel, guys. What are we looking to do? You're very likely going to come into the value area low, flip it to support. You can look to go to the POC, flip the POC, go to the high. So if we come back down, this would be that value area high down here, be a key level to bounce off of. If we get sucked back in, you might be going down to the POC and then down to the value area low. Again, not calling for that. I'm just saying, just for educational purposes, if you could be on the 5-minute and see setups like that, and you could use this same analysis to anticipate where price is going to go next. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Steve. Says, FYI, Frankie, I have 2 ex-wives, and Mrs. Candles is cursing you that you're still streaming. Shout out to Steve. I have no ex-wives. Hopefully Mrs. Candles doesn't go dark on me. I'm telling you, Mrs. Candles is the most reserved, calm, nicest, peaceful girl. But when she's packing suitcases, get out of her way, guys. Get out of her way. So you'll catch those hands. And those are hands you do not want to catch. Unless you get a hold of it and you sniff it, then you probably want it. Anyway, but guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I do have to run out of here to catch a flight. But I did, I did not want to cancel the stream and leave the Candle Mafia in the dark. I wanted to update you guys on my thoughts here. If you just tuned in, just scrub back to the beginning of the stream or watch my market update. Not too much has changed, but just scrub back to the beginning of the stream. Went over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I wish I could hang. We did the giveaways. I wish I could hang longer, but I don't want to miss my flight. But with all that being said, Mafia, that's all the time I got for today's live stream. Smash that like button on your way out. We're going to need it on this short stream, so smash it, fondle it, kick it. I don't care. Let that like button catch those hands, guys. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Safe travel. Shout out to Erica. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Send help, Mafia. She's after me. She swung at me. I dodged it. I'm quick. She couldn't get me, but I locked myself in the studio. She's trying to get me. She's telling me, I thought she was packing my bag, and now she's mad I didn't pack, guys. I might just keep streaming because I don't know if I'm getting on this plane. She just threatened me. Oh, God. She's okay. She's getting through the door. I got to go, guys. Send help, Mafia. I'll send coordinates in the Discord. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Oh, my God.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag.
Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to